start, why not? I know. If you're watching this after the fact, you're wondering, hey, why is Raph doing this on his phone and why am I staring at a bucket? Well, hold on a second. There's answers to all these questions. I'm doing this on the phone because my computer is now so slow that my phone's processing power is far better than my computer's. It also means that I can actually tell what is going to show up, well, what is going to be audible and what is not. So that's why I'm using the phone. I do have the laptop handy. It's right here. It's currently uploading a video for all you patrons out there. So that's going on. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I gotta remember that the camera on the phone is over here. I got to address y'all right there. But I will be able to look down here at the laptop and see the comments. I mean, they do show up on the screen on the phone. You don't want to hear about the technical stuff. Welcome back, everybody, to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I am your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs. And hey, we're going out in style, folks. Here it is, the second week of Great Lent is just about to a close, and I figured nothing says Lent like horsing around on the internet, playing some music, talking about books, talking about the interview with Father Silvio I had earlier today about his Psalter and his translations, and that was the most intense but shortest half hour of my life, and I'm so excited he has agreed to come back on the show to talk more. So it turns out he has a paid Zoom account because of, diocesan reasons. So he's going to call me next time so we don't have to constrain it. But it's so cool. I can't wait for everyone to watch that interview. And that'll be on Patreon. I'll probably wind up uploading it to Patreon during the stream. So anyone here that's a Patreon supporter or a channel member can just cut out of the live stream at any point and go watch it if they want. But I'm very, you can tell that the smile is real. I'm very stoked about y'all seeing that interview, or at least listening to it with Father Silvio. But so we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the show, what's going on with my living situation, what's going on with books, what's going on just in general. We're going to play some music. Probably not a whole lot of music because I get very self-conscious about it, which is weird. But let's see here. What's up, Manuel? Sorry, it took me a second to see that. So, usually, okay, so you're going to do a book review on that New Lady Jordanville liturgy book that dropped on pre-order? Yeah, I probably will. I mean, that's what I do, isn't it? Because I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be living anywhere at the end of April, so by Pascha, I'm trying to hold off on getting new books in, which is a bad idea. Don't mail anything to me. Mail it to my church. I'll put it that way. What's up, Luke? John, how you doing? But yeah, Jordanville's always got me in the loop on their stuff. Oh, the biggest news of all. So Abbot Damascene has dropped the big news. All those Seraphim Rose books that are out of print, coming back into print this year, just like I told you. Every time I tell people something, they're like, I'll believe it when I see it. I know things. So yeah, Genesis, Creation, and Early Man will be back available this year, soon. It's not just a rumor anymore. It's not just me telling you things. They said it themselves. There was an announcement today. It's all over Instagram and everything. It's a real thing. It's really happening. And actually, I dropped the ball. It just goes to show how I have waned in my influence, and other people are waxing, because the news came out of Punks and Monks, which is a great ministry, and they're doing far better than I am. In fact, most channels are doing better than I am, but that's neither here nor there. I need to step up my game a little bit. But so Genesis, Creation, and Early Man will be back on shelves this year. Soon. So that's pretty rad. Now we just need a Matthew and Mark in the chat. We've got the whole gang. Punks and Monks. They are pretty cool, considering that she's only been Orthodox for 2 years. But yeah, I mean, you know, that just goes to show what you can do with a little startup capital and a lot of elbow grease. So, right on. So yeah, how about a song? You want to hear a song, or not? We could just keep talking. We could just diddle around and. Will the reprint be the same as the second edition, or will it have updated and augmented edition? As far as I know, as far as they're saying, they're just maybe have a new cover, but no, they're just reprints. They're not messing with Blessed Seraphim's words. Based God wants to hear a song. So this guitar is pretty cool because it can do that David Gilmour thing where in this position, with the alt switch up in the middle, it activates the bridge and neck, so you get this that very Pink Floyd David Gilmour sort of sound. And all of a sudden my nose is running. It doesn't make any damn sense. I'm just excited. Oh yeah, no worries. So let's see, a song. I feel like I should play something happy, but it occurs to me that I really don't know many happy songs, so I'm sorry, I might just bring you down. When you got that pickup thing going on, you gotta... Alright, so... Alright, so a song. Sure, why not? Ooh, that's funny. I think I like that. I think that might be my new sound. Alright, where are the chords for this song? Oh, yeah, okay. This is one of those songs where it's just like, I've been trying to play it correctly since I started playing guitar, like back in the 90s, and I just never rehearse it enough, but we're going to try it anyway. You gave me a pet name, which is not to say I like it. We met at a party, not to say I was invited. You said love was just a lie, and I could tell that you were lying. And we almost figured out how we get along. Given time, we'll find it strange to be alone. You worked at a hotel, at the magazine concession. Back in just 5 minutes, to sign above your station. Still good profits in the back. Now you're counting up on the hours, and then we almost figured out how we get along. Give it time, we'll find it strange to be alone. And you just forgot you weren't getting it for me. And all those promises you said you'd keep, and it's a lucky thing, 'cause that sentimental stuff doesn't suit you at all. Waiting at the bus stop, just about an hour. Strategies for handmen, catch cradle origami. You said love was just a laugh, but I could tell that you were lying. And we almost figured you weren't getting for me. And all those promises you said you'd keep, and it's a lucky thing. You just forgot you weren't getting for me. And all those promises you said you'd keep, and it's a lucky thing. 'Cause that sentimental stuff doesn't suit you at all. At all. Didn't warm up, none of that nonsense. That's an old They Might Be Giants song from back when they were, back before they got super woke. But yeah. So anyway, so book stuff. Oh man, okay, so yeah, I did that video on the St. Coleman prayer book, which posted publicly today. A lot of people had access. Oh, thanks, man. To that previously because the author, Father Michael Wood, I gave him the link and he posted it on his Facebook page. Anyway, so the intro to that episode was posted yesterday, and that was Metropolitan Hilarion on the Western Right. And it's actually the intro that Metropolitan Hilarion wrote for the book. And apparently that was completely lost on most of the people that watched the video because they didn't, A, read the title of the video or the description of the video or watch the whole video. 3-minute long video, and the average view duration was like 1 minute and 20 something, which tells me that 90% of the people that usually comment on these things don't actually watch the video or read the title or anything. Which is really, really disheartening to have people like just come in and shit on things like that without giving it a fair whack, without either A, watching the whole video, or B, like having even laid eyes or hands on a book, which really, really bums me out. Some people just like to jump on videos and like spread hate and discord and stuff. I'm like, that's the last thing our church needs. I mean, we got folks dropping left and right. There was a monk who first jumped ship and became Roman Catholic, and now he's like completely gone off the deep end and become a Muslim. And I'm thoroughly convinced that the man either has a brain parasite or a demon. No, I didn't do Istanbul. Everyone's done that. It's been played out. Done. Everyone's done that song. But yeah, so that and then Hieromonk Herman from St. Tikhon's, who is actually well known as, and he's been a monk there for like forever. He's an editor on a lot of service books, and he jumped ship for the Catholic Church, which makes zero sense to me. I will never wrap my head around that sort of betrayal. I mean, I can understand becoming disillusioned with hierarchy because things are just messy, but man, why jump ship for heretics? I don't get it. Okay, so here's the deal. I bet you, looking down on this now, that it's finished uploading. Nope, still got 5 minutes left. That's how slow my computer is. A 25-30 minute video has taken me this long to upload. I started uploading it 20 minutes ago. So yeah, when I try to live stream now on the computer, it's just the sound is out of sync. When I try to record videos on my computer, okay, because I have to do it through the OBS so that I have my microphone settings and everything, because nothing else on this piece of garbage works anymore. So it's impossible for me to sync the sound to the video anymore. But that's not going to matter much anymore because moving forward, my internet's getting turned off at the end of the month. So that'll be out. So pretty much the show's going to go back to just being done on the phone for a while until the dust settles. I work with someone who converted from Orthodoxy to Catholicism. I can't understand it at all. Yeah, I don't. It's like, do you just want to be beholden to just one dude, who just can make things up willy-nilly? I don't get it. John, how you doing? I recommend you check out the video on Reason and Theology about the priest who became Muslim. Reality is that he only became Orthodox for Arabic liturgy because he couldn't be Muslim at the time. Yeah, that's freaking stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know what bothers me the most about situations like that is like, you deny Christ, like, and what's more is like, you were clergy, you were monastic clergy, and denied Christ. Did you believe in the first place? Were you a liar the whole time? Like, that's some seriously heavy stuff to wonder about. And it's disturbing, just disturbing, very, very disturbing. Yeah, so I just pray for these people. Pray for Hilarion, Higi, and pray for Hiram Monk Herman. Now, Hilarion was formerly the priest monk Hilarion, Hermitage of the Holy Cross. I'd known him for years. Convert at Old Parish, became Orthodox, lasted 5 years, suddenly reverted to Roman Catholic. When he announced this, I said, "What took you so long? All the old timers were right. Said he would not last." That's rough trade, man. That's and you know what's can I talk some shit? Can I talk some shit for a second here, people? Catechism has got to be taken seriously in the church, folks. Like, the Greek church here in town, and I don't know how it is in your towns, wherever you're from. The Greek church here, like, I know this dude, and thank God he's kept the faith so far. I'm actually, Godfather was his eldest son. You know, he came into the church through the Greek church here locally, and like his catechism wasn't really much of a catechism. Like, he was going to the liturgies for maybe 2 or 3 months, and the priest just like received him, and that was it. A priest who, by the way, can't hear confession. Like, how can you receive someone without a life confession? Like, how can you go through Lent without being able to hear confessions? Like, how does a parish survive, period, without having a confessor? That is right. He did not receive basic, solid catechesis. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. Like, I've been talking to people locally about this. So, like, a couple of families who have converted through the Greek church are now jumping ship to St. Basil's because, like, unfortunately, the Greek church here locally is a stereotypical Greek church where it's more. Now, this is nothing against the priest there. The priest there, Father Stephen, is a solid priest. He's a good man, and I'll take a bullet for him. The people there, on the other hand, we don't have, we have to love our brother. We don't have to like him, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a sad situation where, that St. Nicholas in Wilmington has been here since the turn of the 20th century. So it's not like they're new. Like, they've been face forward in this town for well over 100 years, and yet they don't grow through conversion. Like, they've not been a witness to the Orthodox faith or to any faith at all this whole time. It would seem, based solely on their demographics and the impact they've had in the community. Not to toot the St. Basil's horn, but like, we in the past 10 years have grown from a group of maybe 25 people to hundreds, and that's, in a decade. So I'm just saying. Strongly agree. There's little emphasis on catechesis everywhere. Lots of apostasy because of it, east and west. Yeah. If priests aren't going to take this seriously, I can't take those priests seriously, and that's just my 2 cents. That's my personal view. Another issue, I'm gonna say this out loud too, and I don't know if priests think of this or not. YouTube is not catechesis, okay? There's nothing catechetical about watching YouTube videos about orthodoxy. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if you're watching Peter Heers or Josiah Trenum or anybody. Like, they're great. They're great teachers. You can learn a lot. That's not catechism. That's not catechism. That is not going to church and being immersed in the services for at least a year with solid hands-on catechism with a priest on a regular basis. Like, a solid foundation of the faith is not watching YouTube videos and showing up at church. That's not the way to do it. Like, that's a good way to get started in, like, the gaming community, but when it comes to your faith, like, and that's the thing too, like, I wonder how seriously people take the faith. Or has orthodoxy in the 21st century in America, has orthodoxy become the new culture club? Or do people really want that relationship with Christ? Do they really want to change their lives that much? Do people genuinely want to take on the struggle and buck the world and literally, die for Christ in one way or another? Or is it just the based thing to do? Yeah? That's why catechesis is important. That's why discernment is important. That's why these priests have to be involved. Arabic-speaking woman from Syria in our parish was urged and cajoled by Muslims to accept Islam. She said, "How can I leave Jesus?" Based. That is based. Good. You're right about issues with catechism. At my Serbian parish in the UK, the 2 converts who have been received, myself and one other, were baptized in less than 5 months with no real catechesis. Yeah, and that's sad. That is just it's almost criminal. Almost criminal. I'm thirsty. I wasn't expecting to be talking this much. Here, walk with me. Talk with me. I have a beer in here. Well, it's not really a beer, but it's kind of a beer. Been saving it for an occasion. This is an occasion, right? Stay tuned. I'm going to be selling some books. There. Tell your friends. Jump on. We're going to be selling some books. Spooky. Anytime I get the amp turned on, Spooky she's out. She's gone. What was I saying? I don't know. Probably something really judgmental. Caused real issues a couple of years in. Thank God I made it through that period by doubling down on prayer. Yeah, listen, folks. I mean, I can't tell who's watching right now that says that there's 13 people watching. Someone might watch this after the fact. I doubt it. My numbers suck. Channel growth is slowed to a crawl because I just... Issues. Anyway, anyone who's watching, or go tell your friends, if a priest is not giving you attention catechetically, and again, like if you've been attending an Orthodox church and you want to be a catechumen and they don't seem to be giving you the time of day, they're just kind of blasé about it, find another church, find another priest, because you're just doing yourself a disservice there. Or challenge them. Be like, listen, I'm actually kind of serious about this. I think there is a major issue right now with sincerity in the church, with people being serious about their faith and it not becoming the new culture club that we like to rail on the ethnic parishes about so much, and rightfully so in some cases. Yeah. Let's see. Should we do another song? Or should we continue talking smack about jurisdictions and bad priests? Because there's nothing more Lenten than just, let the hate flow through you. I agree. I think it's been that way for a bit. Yeah, it's really sad, Luke, because, when I came into the church, it hasn't been that long. I've only been Orthodox 10 years. I've been attending my parish for 11 years, but I've been Orthodox for 10. And I was the only catechumen at the time. I was the only one there. But there was one guy that was received maybe a few weeks before I became a catechumen. When was the vernacular introduced into the liturgy in Orthodoxy? It's always been there. It's always been the vernacular. And that's a great point, and I'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, and then after I was received, we had another catechumen, and now all of a sudden we've got entire families, waiting to be received into the church. So it just goes to show. Yeah, when it comes to the vernacular in the liturgy, it's always been that way. It's always been the vernacular. The English-speaking world is the exception to the rule. Here's a few grand examples for you. First and foremost, let's look at Saints Cyril and Methodius, apostles to the Slavs. They didn't teach them Greek. They instead were like, okay, this is your language. We'll help you with a written form of your language. That way you can have, the writings. But nope. Thank God for the ethnic parishes, and thank God for the babushki. They were the backbone, heart, and soul of the Church in the USA, the old countries, for 100 years. And unfortunately, that's changing in some areas. It's changing. Let's see. Who is it? Saint Herman of Alaska. Okay. Russian, comes over, learns Aleutian, and then teaches the faith and translates prayers and liturgy into that language, and that is the language they use. Saint Nicholas of Japan learned Japanese, translated the services and prayers into Japanese, liturgized in Japanese. Saint Tikhon of Moscow, Saint Raphael of Brooklyn insisted on English language in North America because that's the prevalent language in North America. And then all of a sudden they're dead and everything is just dialed back. Makes no sense. I'm all for, you want to preserve your cultural heritage and your language, great. Leave it out of the evangelical mouth of the church. Let me tell you something. I doubt I would have had the Orthodox experience if I was just told, hey, this is the ancient church, and then I show up and it's just like, none of this makes sense, no one's speaking English, I'm out. I'm sorry, that's the way a lot of people are. If you're better than that, great, good for you, pat yourself on the back. A lot of people aren't. The vernacular has always been the go-to, and it's a shame, it's a crying shame that the English-speaking West is the exception to the rule in that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, so, by the way, check the links below. It's a thing. Bills need paying. So, what do you think? I did this because I like you guys? No, I'm just teasing. Anyway, how about a song, huh? This is a Michael Graves tune. I do other people's music because my music, I don't feel good about it. Throw some effects on it, why not? ever seen this far away. There might be a reason you've gone away. We all have our reasons. Yeah, we all have something locked away, hidden from the light. There must be something left inside a light. When are you coming home? Locked away, hidden from the light. There must be something left inside a light. When are you coming home? When are you coming home? Hey, scared away half my people. Awesome. So yeah, that was Mike Graves' tune. I don't know. I like the morose stuff. And thank you, John, for the 10 pounds. Appreciate you. If you're looking to help out immediately, there's a PayPal and Cashapp links below. Greatly appreciate it. Still got to make next month's rent. That's my last month, and then I'm out. Then I'm in the tent. But okay, enough about that. So, great asset to your choir. Oh, thanks, John. I try to be a good asset to my choir on those days where I actually feel physically fit enough to sing. Because I have a hard time staying standing the whole time. And then our choir has actually gotten to the point now where, unless I'm standing up, I might not be able to see the music. So I try to do what I can sitting down. Let's see. Evangelism is non-existent here too, unfortunately. In fact, it's actively suppressed by some clergy, even when it is evangelism based on historical Orthodox practices. I do understand the bans on conversion under Turks and communists, probably blah 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 blah. But there also seem to be, wow, Jesus, write a book, bro. Probably true. Okay, I'm having a hard time keeping up here. Okay, well, I'll let you say what you gotta say there. Okay, since we got this tone anyway. way too happy. English is one of the hardest languages to sing in, if not the hardest. I loved singing in Greek, Slavonic, Arabic, but then asthma got worse. I got older and could not keep it up. I'm sorry to hear that, John. English is the only language I know, and aside from singing some occasional Latin, Greek, German, and French when I was in high school, I haven't really had much occasion to sing outside of those languages much. I did occasionally, but that is that post-punk new wave tone, isn't it? Show me how you do that trick. What that makes me scream, she said. And what that makes me laugh, she said. No alarms around my neck. Show me how you do it. And I promise you, and I promise that I'll run away with you. Yeah, I'll run away with you. Oh. I kissed her face, I kissed her neck. Dreamed of all the different ways that I had to make her glow. Why are you so far away, she said. Don't you even know that I'm in love with you? That I'm in love with you. You, soft and lonely, you, lost and lonely, you, strangers, angels. You're just like a dream. Yeah, you're just like a dream. Into shape. I must have been asleep for days. I moved my lips to speak her name. I opened up my eyes. Found myself alone above a raging sea. I stole the only girl I love, drowned her deep inside of me. You, lost and lonely, you, soft and lonely, you, just like heaven. Scaring the audience away with the awesome music of The Cure. Let's see. Yes, The Cure. He's trying to get us to throw undergarments. No, I don't want your undergarments. I just want your sweet, sweet money. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to send me any money. But if you do, I appreciate it. What other book stuff is going on? Not really a whole lot. I will say, coming up on the show, I'm still trying to get this one priest to sit down with me for like half an hour and explain why in the year 2030, or is it 2040? 2040. No, I'm sorry. In the year 2200, the calendars will be completely screwed. And it's actually really fascinating what's going to happen. Because, see, the year... 2100, my bad, 2100. Because the year 2000 was a leap year, but that was kind of a fluke. So 2100 is not going to be a leap year. And because of that, and I'll let him explain it further, the calendars will be off by another day, by an extra day. And because of that, the off-syncing will be incredibly messed up because you have modern saints that are celebrated, according to both calendars on the given day. For instance, Saint Sebastian of San Francisco, is celebrated on the same day, like in actuality, on both calendars, even though his day is on a different date for each calendar. You dig? And so once that leap doesn't happen and the calendars separate by another day, then Saint Sebastian, according to the calendars, would then be separated, celebrated 2 days in a row instead of on the same day. You dig? Like it's going to be a mess. Yeah, it's going to be a shitstorm, unless they figure something out. So I'll let this priest explain it in more detail than I could. I should have taken notes the first time we had the conversation, but I'd much rather have him explain it, and I'll actually do a whole interview, and it's going to be really fascinating. No one's going to watch it because no one watches my show anymore, but it'll be cool to have it there. The Mayans prophesized calendar trouble. I mean, anytime you go changing calendars, there's going to be issues. You know, that's just what happens. I think the ecclesiastical calendar issue is, it's not a problem yet, but it will be. I'm definitely watching that. That's really, yeah. Well, hopefully I can get him to sit down with me sooner rather than later. Walk with me, talk with me. Let's go ahead and sit outside for a minute. I'll have a cigarette and we'll talk a little bit about this calendar issue. So it's really cool, like, because it's just, the conversation happened over lunch a few months ago, and so hey, look, and we're outside. Get used to being outside with old Raffy. But hey, Spooky Cat might actually come to join us for a minute. But yeah, because he and he said he wanted to bring it up with his college, one of his professors up at the seminary, to like get a little clarification on it. I was like, well, you know, I mean, there's no original ideas. I mean, maybe he thought of it and just, you know, it never came up in conversation. But it also just gonna finally be done with college in 6 weeks. Congratulations, John. What's up, Joachim? Oh, now that I know if your Spooky wants to eat her food, check it out. See, the thing about Spooky Cat is she doesn't really like to eat unless I'm around. So I have to keep food in multiple places to make sure that she's eating. It's amazing. She wants to be around me at all times, but she doesn't want me holding her. I was so upset last night. I was sitting on the couch. I'd just gotten home from Pre-Sanctified, and I was gonna sit and watch a documentary and just chill. And Spooky finally comes up, and she's doing that thing where she's coming closer to me and she's kneading into the pillows and she's coming closer, and I'm like, she's gonna do it, she's gonna lay on me, this is gonna be awesome. And she laid on me, and the moment she started getting comfortable, like one of the neighbors that's moving out like made a noise or whatever, and she got spooked. And I was like, gosh darn it, like Spooky she's not a cuddler, okay? But what you doing, Spooks? But oh yeah, so let's talk about books for sale. Okay, so I guess I do have to discuss the whole me being poor, like not being able to work and everything, because that's why I'm selling the books. The bulk of my collection is going up for sale. That's just, them's the breaks. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So sitting down with Father Andrew, and we're going over my situation, because it's like, well, can't afford to live anywhere. So, I mean, we're going to try to find someone I can stay with for like the next few months, you know, just to keep me off the streets. But, you know, that might not happen. You know, not everyone's as charitable as we kind of hope they would be. But that's neither here nor there. So in order to soften that blow, so to speak, because I do have bills that luckily Patreon covers. Like it covers my phone bill, it covers uh, my medical insurance, and it gives me a few bucks for to pay for my like Google payments that I got to make for like storage space or whatever, because you need that sort of thing when you make content. So pretty much Patreon now pays for that. So pretty much all the show essentials are covered. Anything outside of that, not covered. I've applied for food stamps. I'm probably going to get denied because I just don't have the documentation they're looking for because I don't have anything. Uh, so, and then of course, when you're staying as a guest with someone, you want to soften the blow a little bit financially. So, and plus, I still have a little bit of debt that I got to get out from under. I got to pay off a guitar that I didn't know I was going to be disabled, Now, again, when I first realized that I wasn't going to be able to work anymore, people came out of the woodworks on the channel and donated a nice chunk of change that was able to get a whole bunch of bills out of the way. Thank God for that, because I'd be we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd just be in a ditch somewhere if it wasn't for the people that stepped up at that moment in time. So thank God for that. So now, and plus, I can't afford like a storage space or anything like that. And if I'm just going to be a guest with people sporadically, I can't bring the library with me. So my loss is your gain. So be on the lookout. The bulk of my collection is going up for sale. There's maybe one shelf's worth of books that I'll be able to hang on to. The rest of them, they gotta go. I don't want to. I'd much rather be able to stash them someplace, because I want to hang on, because you never know. Like, I might want to go back and reference them, or someone might have a question that I don't remember something. I'm going to need to look it up in a service book. Well, sorry, too bad. So I'll say to the 12 of you watching, hold on, let me read this. Sorry to hear that. I'm in some situation. I have 2,000 really interesting books. Yeah, it's rough. Hey, DJ. It's rough, John. Yeah, I know it. So if there's any book that you've seen on the show, and so you've got almost 3.5 years worth of episodes to look back on, if there's a book I've reviewed on the show that that you think is going to be part of that, there is not much that's off the table. So if there's a book I have that you might want to put your hands on, obviously it'd be cheaper than buying it new, or in some cases it's a book that's no longer in print. Shoot me an email. Let's talk. But I think what I'll probably wind up doing, it will be time consuming, but I'll probably wind up setting up an eBay store or an Etsy store or something, some sort of storefront for Orthodox Review to sell my collection. And hopefully it will sell quickly, so that bills can be taken care of, and and that can be a thing, and then the show can focus on the show, and it won't be me coming out here, oh, please buy my stuff, send me money, because I think the show has really suffered because of that over the past several months. So yeah, I'd like to get back to a point where it's not even my face on camera anymore, just the books in my hands, and we're having discussions, and it's focusing on what the show is supposed to be about, glorifying God through His services, through the liturgies, through the books, through His saints, through the teachings. So that's where things are at the moment. Now, when this live stream ends, I will clickety-clack a couple buttons, and that interview with Father Silviu will be available on Patreon and for channel members. If you're a channel member and you don't know how to access this stuff that's early access for channel members and Patreon, what it is I do community posts that are only visible to channel members, and those will have the videos in them. So if you're ever curious as to, when I post something on social media about how early access is up, if you're a channel member, that's where you need to go. You can set videos so that they're only visible to channel members, but then they wouldn't be visible to Patreon subscribers. So that's the compromise. The videos have to go up as part of a community post that's only visible to channel members. So the video is like half an hour long. It is 100% interview. There's no filler. There's no nonsense. And that'll be for you guys. And then there will be a second version that will be released to the public, which may have a couple of edits in it where I add some information, some subtitle stuff about, sources, whatever. But the interview itself, with just a quick, simple intro, will be available after the live stream for Patreon subscribers, for channel members, and that will stay there until I'm good and ready to say everyone else can watch it. So that's what's going on with that. Obviously, I don't have a laptop here in front of me anymore, so if I miss a comment, I'm sorry. But yeah, so Spooky Cat has eaten her supper and is now cleaning herself. The sun is starting to get a little low in the sky there. So what time is it? I don't know. I'm not even wearing my watch. The only thing I don't take off is the old prayer rope. I need to take it off and use it. So more often than I do. But anyway, we're 52 minutes in here, so we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. I think I've said what I needed to say. I've imparted whatever knowledge I wanted to impart. I've made my financial plea. But more so than that, your prayers are probably far more effective than your dollars ever can be. So your prayers, please. At any rate, I think, I kind of hate getting offline though, because I know once I end the stream and post the video, then it's just back to me being alone by myself, and that's just not a good place to be. So part of me just wants to keep the stream going. We could do that. It might not be that entertaining, but hopefully more people will pop in and ask some questions or have some comments. I know I said it earlier in the stream, people loved shitting on that Metropolitan Hilarion video. They loved crapping on it. They loved just not paying attention to the title, where it came from, or watching the whole video for that matter. It just really, really, really bummed me out. But rest assured, there will be plenty more Western Rite content. Oh yeah, I've got stuff in the works, buddy, pal. Father Michael Wood is he's really easy to approach. He's on Facebook. He's over there in England, and he loves to talk. He's a historian. That's his bag. That's what he does. So if you ever get a chance to talk to Father Michael Wood, and he knows his jazz. He's actually writing a book right now on the history of Christianity in the British Isles, the first 1,000 years, which is going to be awesome, because there is so check this out. Oh, here's a little history lesson. Yes, DJ. Yeah, sure. More guitars. Why not? For those of you that didn't actually watch the whole episode on the new St. Coleman prayer book, thanks for not watching the whole thing. Appreciate it. So after the schism and the persecution of the church began in England, because that was a thing, because, news took a while to travel, and the faithful and their priests weren't too keen on all of a sudden now things are changing. So there was a persecution, and so there was kind of this mass migration into, I guess, what is now part of Georgia. I'm trying to see the map in my mind. But anyway, so a bunch of expats over, and that was, in the 11th century, 10th century. And so the liturgy of St. John the Divine, which, as of its final amendment in the Stowe Missal in roughly 600, is unchanged since then. That was used up until the 15th century, so the 1600s, in that area. So anyone who likes to crap on the Western Rite needs to realize that the Western Rite continued to be used in the East after the fact for 500-600 years. So that's the thing. Yeah, let's go back inside and maybe I'll play another tune. It's bright and sunny out, but it is starting to a little chill in the air. I will at some point have to turn the guitar amp off because otherwise Spooky Cat won't come inside, and then the stray cats come around, and then it's just bad news because they will chase Spooky Cat off, and that's how her mother disappeared. I would rather not lose Spooky Cat too. But anyway, so here we are. Let me do this so you're not staring at my legs. Let me see if I missed any messages while I was. I'm putting out my final film for college in a few weeks. It'll be about a very, very old local Christian tradition that has mysterious roots. I'll let you guys know when I have it out. That would be rad, John. Who do you say will be putting out the vid on the history of Christianity in the British Isles? It's not a video, it's a book by Father Michael Wood. It's I was talking to him yesterday and the day before a little bit about it, and he is a historian. Like that's kind of his thing. And the one thing he was saying is that he's really good at gathering the information. He's not so good at presenting it in a way that won't put people to sleep. so who knows what's going to happen with that. But it's something he's working on, and it's something he's been kind of chipping away at for years now, apparently. Let's see. Hi, Raphael. I run an online bookstore. I'll email you at some point, and if you can compile a list of everything you have, I can send you back a price I could possibly pay for everything. Robert, that would be fantastic. I'm going to let you know right now. Of the 3 bookshelves of books that I have that aren't in boxes, it's going to be most of them. There's a lot of books. A lot of books. So I will get right on that. But yes, please email me and let me know. You're not alone in being alone. I'm praying for you in every knot, and you know the prayer hugs are real. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Let's see. A song. Should I switch guitars? Yeah. Right on. Or should I continue on with this guitar? Or should I switch to another guitar? Should I sing one of my songs or someone else's songs? That's always the... So, let's see. Hey, you can never go wrong with some Tom Waits, but I think I might need to switch to the telly for that. I just the pickups in the telly are a little different. I really like them, even though this thing weighs a ton. I cannot stand up and play this guitar for more than a couple minutes anymore before my back starts to give me issues. I can't stand up in general for that long before I start having issues. And the neuropathy is really the real killer between the two. If you know anything about neuropathy, it's terrible nerve damage in my feet. That makes it nigh impossible for me to spend any extended period of time on my feet. But it also makes it so that wearing shoes for more than maybe 5 minutes is just excruciatingly painful. Can I play some Pixies? Maybe. Let me get this thing tuned up first. Oh, Black Francis. Yeah, I was watching a thing about the Pixies last night or night before. Kind of a history of the band. And because I spend a lot of my free time watching documentaries on music, just because that's one of the things that I love watching documentaries about. You know, my entire life does not revolve around watching other Orthodox content. Although at this point it should, because making response videos or reaction videos to other Orthodox content would probably get me a lot of viewers. Yeah, I was talking about this to my friend Steven on the way to church last night. Is, the one cool thing about Orthodox Review that I always thought was like kind of awesome is like I never pushed it. I never felt like I had to put so much effort into it because something counted on it. It was always something that grew organically and was natural and sincere. And what sucks is right now I find myself in a position where it's like, now I have to take it seriously and I have to push content out and I have to worry about numbers because it's the only income I have, and it's really kind of a sad predicament. And sure, I get jealous of other Orthodox content creators who are blowing up because they're good at what they do. They've got better video quality, they're better scripted, things like that. It's like that's not what I bring to the table. I kind of wish it was, but I'm not a filmmaker. That kind of bums me out. Like, I don't want to have to take Orthodox Review seriously in that regard. Like, I always thought that Orthodox Review would be like, here's a book or here's a person or something that I want to share with the world and nerd out about and geek out about. And if it, helps pay the bills, then great. And if not, no loss. That's always what's been great about doing the show. And then getting to a point now where it's, it out of necessity has to become a business. I don't like that. And part of me likes that, like, oh, hey, doing it professionally, doing it full time, like I used to kind of joke about. But yeah, it's not, unless you have like 50 to 100 patrons and, thousands upon thousands of subscribers, it's just not, doesn't happen. They were good in concert with Pill and Order. Right on. Yeah, I can play some Pill. Play Order of Death. That's some great new wave sound. But that's not what we need for Tom Waits. We need something a little drier. Maybe a little bit of grit. Just a dash of grit. Little tube screamer. Dial it back a little hair. Let's see. I just tuned this thing. Come on now. Believe it or not, I think the intonation might be off just a hair. Oh well. Mule Variations has got to be in my top 5 favorite albums of all time. Just like a bullet leaves a gun. With charcoal eyes and Monroe hips, she went and took that California trip. Where the moonlight gold and the hair like wind. She said, don't look back, just come here. Oh, you've got to hold on. You gotta hold on. Take my hand, stand right here, gotta hold on. Oh, God bless your cruel heart. St. Louis got the best of me. Well, there's nothing left to keep you here. When you're falling behind in this creepy world, oh, you got to hold on, baby, gotta hold on. Take my hand, stay right here, gotta hold on. And the ring made from a spoon. It was like someone. When you share my bed, you share my name. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call the cops. You don't need nice girls in coffee shops. Well, she said, baby, I still love you, but sometimes there's nothing else to do. Oh, but you've got to hold on. You gotta hold on. Take my hand, stay right here, gotta hold on. By the riverside hotel, it's timber and flooring. She closed her eyes and started swinging. Yeah, but it's so hard to dance that way when it's cold and there's no music. When your old hometown's so far away, but inside your head a record's playing. A song called Hold On, Hold On. You gotta hold on, take my hand, stay right. You got to hold on, hold on. You gotta hold on, take my hand, stay right here. You gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, take my hand, stay right here. Hold on. You gotta hold on, baby. You gotta hold on, hold on, baby. Gotta hold on. Sorry about that. There's a house on my block. It's abandoned and cold. The folks moved out of it a long time ago. They took all their things and they never came back. Looks like it's haunted, the windows all cracked. People call it the house where nobody lives. What's in heaven? Words that held dreams till they throw it all away. Know what I mean? So much heartbreak. Someone do somebody wrong. Well, the pain is all cracked. It's been peeled off of the wood. Papers are stacked on the porch where I stood. And the weeds are growing up just as high as the door. Birds in the chimney and an old chest full of drawers. Looks like no one will ever come back to the house where nobody lives. We once had laughter. Once it held dreams, and they throw them all away. Know what I mean? Yeah. Someone's heartbreak. Someone do somebody wrong. So if you find someone to have, someone to hold, don't trade them for silver, no, don't trade them for gold. Out of all of life's treasure, yeah, they're fine and they're good. Just goes to remind me houses are just made out of wood. What makes a house grand? It ain't the roof or the door. There's love in a house, it's a palace for sure. Without love, ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives. Once it had laughter, oh, once it held dreams, and they throw it all away. Lord, I mean, so much heartbreak. Someone do somebody wrong. 'Cause without love, ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives. Without love, ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives. Yeah, I didn't think to bring tissues. Woo, wasn't expecting that. Just a moment. Ow, my knees. Woo! Yeah, a little Tom Waits for everybody. I thoroughly enjoy doing Tom Waits. I always feel something when I do it. So, especially that record. Came out at a very strange time in my life. what was it, 1999? No, 98, right? Is it 98? No, I was 99. Right? It was the summer before I moved back to New York. Yeah, something like that. Oh, thanks. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I'm totally down about that movie, John. I cannot wait to see that. Oh, thank you, Mr. Barnes. I appreciate it. And thanks to all 12 of you that are still hanging out in this pity party. So, yeah, we are probably going to call it quits here. It's about 10 after 9, and I got to start making preparations to make sure the cat gets inside before the strays come cruising. But trying to think, man, maybe there's a happy tune. Maybe there is a happy tune I can leave everyone with, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Let me try not to cry during this one. Because even though it's a happy tune, it's, listen, guys, I'm an emotional wreck lately. So, bear with me. By the way, if you or someone you know is depressed, struggling with anxiety and depression, don't leave them alone. Pester them relentless. What am I doing? I can't smoke in here. I mean, I can smoke in here. I just don't have an ashtray. I'm not going to smoke in here. We're going to do this song. So please, listen, as the church, as Orthodox Christians, it's our bounden duty to reach out to everyone in need. We may not know they're in need. That's why reaching out and keeping community is important. So pay attention in church to the people around. Bear Christ, hello. Cat Stevens, not a chance. No, depression is a serious thing, and I hate it. I hate going through it, and I hope anyone else that's going through it, you're not alone. Even though you feel alone, you can feel alone in a crowded room. But if you're not depressed, reach out to your friends that might be, please. So, hold on. Airball. You say, and you feel like there's no way up now. Let go now. Let go your fear. And when you're really down and out, feel like there's no way out now. Hold back now. Hold back your tears. Some more. How many times have you asked yourself, is this the hand of fate now that I've been dealt? So disillusioned, this can't be real. You can't stand the way you feel. And I don't care about what they say. I won't live or die that way. I'm tired of figuring out things on my own. And just who's gonna carry me home. And when you're down on your luck and you feel like there's no way out now, hold back now, hold back your tears. And when you're feeling down and out and you feel like there's no way out now, let go now, carry away. Angels is gonna carry me away. Angels is gonna carry us away. Angels is gonna carry us away. That's enough out of me, y'all. Thanks for hanging out, indulging me, talking about books, talking about jurisdictions, talking about all the cool stuff we talked about, and watching me sob my way through the last 3 songs. Anyway, so as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to push all the buttons so that new episode, the interview with Dr. Sylvia, will be available on Patreon, and just a few moments after that for channel members through the newsfeed. And then I'll probably wind up dropping it to the general public next week sometime, I would imagine. Continue to do what you're doing. Go to church, say your prayers, remember God. In your mercy, remember me in your prayers if you can. And hey, Lent's not over yet. You know, we still got time, we still got a chance. Yeah, I'll get right on that, Noah. Thanks. All right, y'all. Gang, peace out. We'll see you next time, all right? Yes.